Welcome back, everybody, to another JOSBSN presentation of your Sandy Nanners volleyball team. We are hopping straight into it this time, catching everybody on the Sandy Nanners off guard with that first serve. 1-0 to Sugar and Spikes is the team that the Sandy Nanners are going up against today. And let's meet the squad once again real quick. In that right-hand back corner is myself, Jacko, and then in the middle is Aubrey. On the left there, in the back row is Gavin. Left front, Colin, one of the two Collins that we have. Front middle will be Jada, and then front right now is Max. As Gavin gets to that one, sends it up for Jada, puts it in a very spikeable spot, but Colin gets a quick hand to it to send it straight back over. Off to the Sandy Nanners side, Jack sets that one far, and it's going to go over the net. Colin, once again, equal to it. This time, Max is the one to set it over. Colin, again, getting a hand to that one, and it falls for the Sandy Nanners. 1-2 here, being the score early on. A little bit of a raggedy start to that one. A little bit of a tennis match going on there between mainly Colin and the entirety of the Sugar and Spike squad. Let's see what Jack can do with his first batch of serves here. A hard one that was definitely going out of bounds, but it is played anyway, and that will be a point for the Sandy Nanners. 2-2. Let's see how well they can recover from last week's 2-1 loss that they faced up against, I don't even remember what the team was called. I'm not even sure, but they're looking for a swift recovery here. A nice 3-0 would do them well. As Max blocks that one to send it back down. It's recovered. Max blocks it again and gets the point here. Well done by Max there defensively. And let's see how Jack can keep going with his serves here. 3-2 being the score here early on as Jack gets yet another serve here. This one goes low and hard over the middle. Well recovered there as Max spikes that one down. Hand has gotten to it, but not enough to keep it alive as the Sandy Nanners have doubled the Sugar and Spike score. However, it's only a 2-point difference here, so that double thing doesn't really matter too much. This serve goes same spot in the middle, a little bit further back towards, I believe that's his old man on his shirt, and that one's going to be another point for the Sandy Nanners. Jack is going on a little bit of a run here, not something he typically does. That's something that's saved for later down the line there, typically with like a Jada and Gavin type of serves here, but they're working from Jack here. That one might have been out of bounds, but it gets played similar to the first one. 6-2. A very early and a quick lead for the Sandy Nanners. As I'm not sure how well you can see, but in the back there, over by our other camera, we have what should be, we hope to be, the last member of the Sandy Nanners squad you will see this season, with Ella finally making her debut. As that serve from Jack goes high above the frame of the camera, and the return goes out of bounds for another Sandy Nanner point. The Sandy Nanners, like I said, have a new member pulling up. Jack goes high with this one again. These things, I calculated them before, have about 3 seconds of hang time on them, which means that they are likely going upwards of 45 feet in the air, which is quite tough to return if you've ever been under that deceptively, despite how simple they seem to be. Nice high, and just they can fall right down into your arms. How hard can that be? As the point is finally lost here. Jack sets it up for Jada. Jada goes for Max. A little bit beyond him. Max gets a nice second hand to it to send it down. Despite the block, he is tall enough to get another hand on that ball and get the point for the Sandy Nanners here. 8-3 early on. As Ella is on the court now, in the sand, getting ready for her first Sandy Nanner points, as Max gets another good serve from the Nanner squad here. 9-3, it's tripled up here. The serving last week was certainly a little bit of an issue for the Sandy Nanners. They lost a lot of points there on their efficiency compared to their opponents from the week prior, who I still am struggling to remember the name of. But this week, that, as of now, seems to not be an issue whatsoever, as that one is going to fall back behind Jack as he was pressing up there for the spike. 9-4, 5-point game here early on in this one. Let's... 4-9, the serve oncoming. Ella still doesn't have that jersey on. Jack ends up getting there for it anyway. Jada tries to send it over to Colin. It's not needed to be touched by Colin, but the point is won regardless, as Ella is now finally in the game for the Sandy Nanners, as Jada gets her first serves of the day. If you've been watching the game so far, you will know that she is our ace on the mound, if you will. Somehow, those serves, as that one falls through a gauntlet of hands to go in the sand, there doesn't appear to be anything all that special about her serves. There's just some nice, consistent underhanders. All as that might just be her first miss of the season, actually. So what a way for that run to end from Jada in this one. 11-5 still is the score. Big lead, big healthy lead for the Sandy Nanners. Yeah, Jada has been statistically the best server for the Sandy Nanners. That is a hard serve that Jack does well to get to Gavin, but he puts it too high, and that one's going to get spiked down on Gavin's head through no fault of his own here. Massive error on the return there from Jack, sending that one way too far for Gavin to have a chance at. 11-6, that could be a little bit of a momentum changer, especially with this guy's serves here, as that one is going to get placed too far for Ella to get to, and it looks like it was a little bit of a carry anyway, so ball don't lie is the call on that one. 11-7, Sugar and Spike starting to come back a little bit here in this one. Let's see what this man can do on his serves. He puts a little bit of heat behind him, sends this one to Max with a nice backspin. Gavin spikes it down from behind, doesn't do anything there. This one gets spiked down. Gavin gets a good hand to it. Colin there, and then Ella ends up sending it over with what might be her first touches of the game. Colin does well to get a hand to that one. Ella sends it over once again there into a difficult spot, but it is well recovered. Sent over by the man in the front. It is not sent over. It is sent into the net to reinstate, reinforce, rebolster that 5-point lead that the Sandy Nanners have had from early days in this one. Pretty much, they've had a strong lead throughout here. After that first two run of serves from the Twin Towers there. This one's going to get sent above any block attempts. Gavin gets a hand to that one and sends it flying and out of bounds. 12-8 now in this one. So let's take this brief little pause in the action to ask you guys, if you're watching and enjoying, to subscribe to the channel to see more Sandy Nanner content, more Subnautica content, more whatever content. I do a lot of different stuff. So yeah, just subscribe to the channel, please, if you will. We are very close at the point of recording this to getting 500 subs here, so all support would be appreciated as Sugar and Spikes gain that last point there, going up above where Jada can reach. She's not the most vertically inclined team members here, as Ella sets this one up for Jack, who gets it down over the block, but it is going to be a net call. Another point here for Sugar and Spikes. They are making a comeback. It's only 2 in it now. Not much separating the two in the middle stage of this game here. These two teams are going to be playing up till 21 today, as Max lets that one fall in the sand for another Sugar and Spikes point. Yes, these two teams are going to be playing to 21 points today, not the traditional 25 that you've seen a lot of from the Sandy Nanners. They're actually playing by the rules this week, as Jada sets that one up for Jack, who gets it down, almost recovered, but Jack's kill is going to land there to finally end that little run there from the Sugar and Spikes team. And let's see what Gavin can do with his first batch of serves here in this one. Gavin has been a very consistent server, and they've been consistently getting better as well, as that one is going to be caught by the last man on the squad over on the near side of the camera from this shot to give another serve to Gavin. His serve goes low. There was not much heat behind it, but it just dropped right in front of the net there. Really well done, finding an open patch of sand to get the ace from Gavin. 4 points is the lead here once again. A game of runs, that's how volleyball is, as it's up to 5 now. It really is a game of runs. Just a little bit of momentum, or having a good server at the line can really swing the game by 4 or 5 points. As this one gets recovered, Jack goes up for the block. It gets played over him. Jada in the back row is equal to it. Jack sets it up, or Max sets it up for Jack, but it's going to go over the net, and it's going to be a point regardless here. Only 4 points away from the win early on already for your Sandy Nanners. Not even 10 minutes into this one. It's Gavin's serve once again, finding that same spot from before, but it's been filled this time. Goes to Gavin in the back row. Colin sends that one flying over into the back middle. Sent over hard. Colin is equal to it. It goes over the net once again, and Max goes up for the block. A very necessary attempt there from him to win the point for the Sandy Nanners here. This is what I'm saying, though. Like, when you just get a good server at the line here and you can start winning points, like points consecutively, that's huge in volleyball. That's all it's about, as Jack spikes that one down. Wow, I didn't see that one coming. It's been a pretty quiet game up at the net up until this point, save for Max's first 2 blocks early on. But that's how you make some noise here to almost end the game off. 2 points is the difference. It's not the difference. There's a lot more than that in it, as Jack is going to have to go for a backwards bump, and he sends it into the net there. Looking reminiscent of a Sandy Nanner player from a last year's squad. as that one is going to get kept alive by Jada, and Max hits it right off the ends of his fingers, it appears. Point Sugar and Spikes here. They need 6 points to tie the game up, and the Sandy Nanners need 2 points to win here. Thoughts could very easily already be wandering towards game 2, and this one is that one from Colin is going to go wayward. Swings his arms out to his left, and nothing is going to happen there, as that serve is going to not even make it to the net. Jack fumbles with the ball a little bit, and Ella will get her first chance to serve with game point here for the Sandy Nanners. Let's see what she can cook up. The camera is still on her side, so that concerns me just a little bit here, knowing what will happen. Let's see what comes up with this one. That might just be out of bounds. What's the ruling here? They say it was in. Look at that. VAR says that was just on the line. You couldn't ask for a more perfect serve than that as your first one in the Sandy Nanner uniform. 21-14 being the final score of Game 1. The Sandy Nanners take it with relative ease here. Let's see how they can do in Game 2 here to keep their 3-0 hopes alive. This serve from Jack falls in the front row, and Jada is going to get there. Max saves it. Colin does well to get a hand to send it over the net there. Well done from Max there to keep that one alive, as that is a very quick point for the Sandy Nanners. Jack had 5 or 6 different serves in a row on his first time serving in this one. Let's see how we can do it again. This one goes high. I didn't think that thing was ever coming down, as it hits the net and falls on the Sugar and Spike side of the net. As we were saying about I apologize, Ella having a very nearly perfect serve. That one emulates the same vibes there. Jack sets it up for Jada. Jada sets it up for Max. Max does not have a spike on that ball. What the heck was that? That could hit hard at the man in the front right there. And he sends it out of bounds on the Sandy Nanner side of the net. 3-0 already in this one, as Jack continues his run of serves that he started in Game 1. The way that he hits them has a weird bit of curve on it that sends it in a potentially difficult to return way. Max does well to send that one over backwards. Church sends it up for it, and it gets a little bit of a fumble there between those two on the left side. Once again, I wish I knew names a little bit better here. There's the two in the middle now that have the names on the backs of their shirt. I'm not sure about names, but I don't know anybody named Old Man, but I can at least call them by what's on their shirt there. You see what I'm saying about the serves from Jack there? They have that little bit of an in-swinging motion there. The right hand spin just puts it from, if you're on a receiving side, from the left to right, puts it into the middle from the outside here. Another one. This one goes deeper, and it's once again not returned, this time by Old Man in the back row there. 6-0 early on. A huge run here from Jacko, as there's some friendly banter going on over on that side. Let's see what he does on this one. Oh no, the camera's on the wrong side. Did he put the opposite spin on that? Oh, and it lands. Oh my goodness, that is filthy. That might just be one of the serves of the season there. There must have been some comments about how he was spinning it to the opposite, or to the left side from here earlier on in this game. So he puts some right-handed spin on that one and pins it on the line. Perfect for him. He switches up to an underhand style, but not his usual high-flying moonball. It's a much more casual attempt this time. Max gets a spike on that one, sends it down. 8-0. This could be a 21-0 here, the way the Sandy Nanner team is cooking right now. Game 2, Sandy Nanners are absolutely lethal. Same thing happened last week. Jacko's returns back to the high-flying ball, and that one's going to get, once again, not returned here. This will be serve number 10 in a row for Jack here. Unprecedented stuff. I mean, you don't expect this from any team. You don't expect anybody to be cranking out 10 serves in a row on a team. Not that the serves have been anything too special, save for that one, but they just haven't been returned. That one does well to get kept up. Jada sends it over to Max. Max has a play on the ball, can't get up over it enough to spike it hard, but it will get well returned by Sugar and Spikes. It's the same play once again. Max sending this one far this time, putting a little bit more meat behind it. Colin gets a chance now to kill it. If it hits the net, it goes up, and Jada is not able to keep it alive. Colin's dig attempt is not there either. And the Sugar and Spikes squad finally get their first points of Game 2 here. 1-9 being the score in this one, as that serve is going to fly out of bounds there. 10-1. 10-1. That's wild. That is a huge gap in the points here. The Sugar and Spikes squad almost need to score as many points as the Sandy Nanner squad needs to score to win. And they're only at 10 points here. This one's going to get sent over for Jack. Jack goes to Max. Max sets it far into the middle there, and that one's going to fly out of bounds here on the return from Max's set. 10 points again. We're already back up. We're back to a 10-point lead, and the Sandy Nanners only have, make that 9 points. They only have 11 points here. So, I don't know if this is a Game 2 Sandy Nanners thing, or if this is just a tough performance from the Sugar and Spikes squad. It is hard to tell in this one early on, as that serve is going to fly into the net here. And would you look whose turn it is? It's Jada's turn. Oh, the game could end right here if she can do what we know she can do on her serves. 12-2 is the score in this one. This one's going to get sent over for Church, who gets a hand to it. Ella sets it up for Gavin. Gavin spikes it down, and it is going to land. The first combination play we've seen from those two into this one. I mean, that's kind of what Jada and Ella are on the squad for. They're to set up the bigs and for their serves, as we can see from Jada. Sending that one high, emulating a Jacko service. Gavin spikes that one down on the return there to make it 14-2. It is a 12-point game in this one. And keep in mind, the Sandy Nanners only need 7 more points to win here. This is an absolute thrashing. That one is going to fly. Might have been out of bounds, might not have been. Jack keeps it alive regardless. Max sends that thing flying into the back row, and that spike attempt is going to go down into the net. 15. I can only say the score so many times before it's extremely repetitive. I guarantee I've already reached that point, but wow. I don't know what else to say in this one. This one's going to get sent over to Max, who is more than equal to it. Colin sends it up on the net and over, and Max's bump is not going to be returnable there for Ella, as the Sugar and Spice squad finally get their 3rd point of the game here. Jack hitting a little jig there in the back left. Serve is up. This one's going to go straight to Max. Max to Ella. Ella to Gavin. He's not going to get there, but he is going to block it down, and this one's going to get kept alive. That one's going to fly. Jack gets there, sends it over the way over to the other side, and Jada gets caught backtracking and out of position there to get a point for the Sugar and Spikes team. End-to-end, like full-on backcourt to backcourt volleyball there from these two teams. A completely different change of pace to what we've seen before. 15-4. It's almost back to a 10-point game here. Not sure what the holdup is on this serve. We'll get there eventually. Here it goes. That one's going to get sent over to Colin. Colin to Max. Max does well to get that thing over off of Colin's return. Gavin spikes that one down. He blocks it, I should say, but he spikes it down on the wrong side of the net. Been there. We've all been there, Gavin. No shame in that one. Especially in a game like this. Max sends that thing high, and Jada and Colin have a struggle figuring out who's going to get to that ball, and the deficit is now within 10 points here. Sandy Nanners might need to start getting worried here. This could get a little closer than they want, and Jada gets that one. Max sends that thing out for Gavin to get to. It's a 50-50 ball, and nobody's going to touch that one. It's going to fall on the Sugar and Spikes side of the net there. Max set that up as a 50-50, and it didn't get touched by anybody. Back up to 10 points here. The Sandy Nanners, by the way, are at 16 points, and Colin is their 4th server of the game here. Just putting that fact out here. That one's going to get kept alive, but it can't get returned on the 3rd hit. 17-6. Absolute demolishing here. Colin has also been a deceptively consistent server. Granted, he hasn't gone on the types of runs that you've seen from a Jada and from a Colin, or from a Gavin, I should say. As that one's going to fly. We never even see that one land. Who knows where that thing went. It was out of bounds, though, regardless here. As Max tosses that thing over to Colin. Finally, he's getting a little bit of a spotlight here as Gavin hits a play at the net for that one to block it down. I'm speaking just straight gibberish at this point. 19-6. Let's slow things down a little bit, all right? We don't need the whole fast-paced commentary in a game like this. Yeah, Colin has had good serves. Ella does well to get a hand to that one. Jack sets it far to Gavin, who spikes it. This one's going to fly. 50-50 ball. Ella is not going to win that one any day of the week against that competition at the net. And Church's return is going to fall out of bounds. Game point here for the Sandy Nanners already, after only going through 4 different servers in this game, which is, I don't know if we've seen that happen yet this year. This one's going to get sent up. Colin is more than equal to it in the back row, but it goes too high for Ella to have a return to. And the comeback is on for Sugar and Spikes. They only need 14 points, and they're there. 14 points unanswered, mind you. Which we've seen quite the wow, what a serve. Jada does well to get anything on that. Jack sets it up for Max, and Max is going to land the kill there. And is that game? That they don't look like they're calling game there. What is it with the Sandy Nanners team? And whenever they're absolutely thrashing an opponent, they always have to play extra points. They always have to rub it in a little bit. As Gavin serve up on what I can only assume now is game point. It gets sent to Jack, who spikes it down. Max now spikes it down, and that flies out of bounds. But the claim on the court is that it was touched by the man in the white there, so to make it a Sandy Nanners point. Not exactly how you want to end the game here, but ending the game was the best solution for everybody here. 22-7. Wow, an absolute demolishing for the Sandy Nanners, and Ella's first full game in the Sandy Nanners uniform here. As you can see now, by the way, the Sandy Nanners squad are lining up. They are staying in the same spot they ended last game, just because they did not make their full way through the rotation. Gavin had one serve, I believe. Ella didn't even touch the ball from the serving spot, as that one's going to fly out of bounds there for Gavin to finally get his chance to run up the serves here in Game 3. Could you imagine going a full game, a full 21 points without even serving the ball, with two people not even serving the ball? That is unheard of here. Jack tries to send this one up for Ella. Ella gets there, sends it up on the net and down to register her first kill as a Sandy Nanners. Welcome to the squad, Ella. It is nice to have you in the uniform, as Gavin gets his third serve here of this, and that is well returned. Sent over high, flying by Church. Colin is going to get there to Jack, who tips it over. A little bit of a redirect on that one. Jack goes for the block. It's over him. Colin, same thing once again to him. Jack sets it up for Ella once again, but this set is going to be not in a good spot for Ella to get to. It's going to fall on the net and down on the Sandy Nanners side of the sand here. And Sugar and Spike squad scores their first points in this one significantly earlier than they did in Game 2, it must be said. You know, credit where credit's due here. Serve's going to fly high back to Gavin. Jack is just going to send that one over. No point getting a third hit there, and that one's going to fall down. This is just not the greatest volleyball here. I mean, not so sure what else to say in this one. 3-1 being the score here, as Ella gets her. She only had one serve in that first game because it was game point. Now she she was supposed to get a good batch of serves there, and Max's middle block is not able to. Yeah, he's saying he felt that thing fly by, but the block was just not there from him. 3-2. 3-2 as Church is up to serve here. Sending this one high once again to Gavin in the middle there. Jada is going to set this one up. It splits the difference between the two, and Jack is not able to get that one up over the net. It was too high for Max, and it was too low for Jack there. Might have been indecisiveness, might have just been a mishit, but regardless, it's a point for the Sugar and Spikes team. And Colin runs everywhere but to the ball on that one to give the Sugar and Spikes team their first lead in I don't even know how long. It has been a hot minute since they've had the lead in this one, as Church is going on a little bit of a run here, sending this one over to Ella. Ella, I think she didn't need to get there, and what a spot. What a spot there to put that one, filling the gap left vacant on the serve there. Well done from her. Really well done to tie the game back up at 4 apiece here. And Jack is back up to serve here. Let's see if he can go on another. How many points was it in game 2? 10 points or something ridiculous. Hard to imagine he'll replicate that performance, but we'll see what happens in this one. As they're shouting out that 4s is the score here. Jack's going to send that one hard into the middle. It's going to actually get returned this time. Jada sets it up. Oh, I thought it was for Colin, and that one's going to get spiked straight back down there off of the set from Jada. It looks like she tried to catch that spike. If she caught that thing one-handed, that might just be, regardless of whose point it was, that would be a highlight in any capacity. 4-5. We're locked into a close one here early on. I mean, somebody has to pull away from this one eventually. These two teams have been just about as streaky as it gets. I mean, I say these two teams, but really, it's kind of just the Sugar and Spikes team. They can either return the ball or they can't, it seems like. And the Sandy Nanners squad has definitely been caught lacking this one. Who hit that ball? I think Jack hit that one. I don't know how he generated that kind of power, falling down with a one-handed slap as Ella sends this one over. Jada is able to get there to set it up. It falls on the... Wow. The net physics in this game need to be patched, because that was just simply not accurate. It got hit by the man in the front there for Sugar and Spikes, up on top of the net, sat there for a minute, and then falls back down on his own side. I don't know, something about that just doesn't make sense to me. The mechanics certainly need fixing in this one, as that one is going to get... It's going to give the lead to the Sandy Nanners for their first lead in a little while, I think? I don't remember. I don't remember. This feels like a pretty low-stakes game here. Anyway, regardless, the Sandy Nanners have already won the week. They're just looking to secure that one extra point, as Jack is going to send that one over after Colin stalls that hit in the air, and it is a 2-point lead for the Sandy Nanners. This could be the point here where they start to pull away and claim this game as their own. Maybe not, as that serve for Max flies out of bounds on the right-hand side here, as you can see. I'm not sure how well you can hear the on-court on the sand noises right now, but it's a good atmosphere out there. These two teams are they're good. They're chill teams. These two teams have no beef with each other like we've seen in the past from some other squads, as that's return will get sent flying out of bounds here to once again build the lead back up to 2 points for the Sandy Nanners. It is nothing but good vibes between these two teams is what we're trying to say here. Despite how the score went in Game 2, there's no hard feelings there. The game's the game, you know. It's volleyball, that's how it is, as Jada gets her first batch of serves in a little while here for the Sandy Nanners, sending this one high into the middle in her traditional fashion. Gavin goes up for the block, it's going to get sent over him. Jack sets it up for Ella. Ella sets it up for Gavin, who doesn't get quite over it well enough to spike it. It's a good hit regardless. Nick is well returned by the Sugar and Spike squad. Jada gets there for Colin, and Colin sets it up for Gavin. Gavin gets the spike there. That might just be the first assist I've seen from Colin this whole season there, as he finally built a little bit of momentum for himself at the net. He's certainly had his fair share of struggles up there, but this could be a bit of a turning point for him, as he is still filling in for the other Colin, the taller Colin, who is out on injured reserve. As that one's going to be well hit up above Gavin, and Max is not able to fill that gap in the middle there. 9-7, the difference remains 2 points here in this one. And yeah, as I was saying about the other Colin, he will be returning in the next week of action here, coming back off of injured reserve here for the Colin that we see. What was that, Max? It hits the net and falls on the Sugar and Spike side of the net. They have been extremely unlucky at the net, as that one's going to fly away and away from the hit from the lady in the middle there. 10-7 as Colin gets another chance to show what he can do on his serves here. Maybe go on a little bit of a run like he did at the end of Game 2 there. A nice little underhand serve here into the back left. This one's going to get well hit up and over Jada. I'm sorry, Jada. Ella sends that one straight back. It's going to go over to Max this time. Jack has no play on the ball, and Jada is going to send that one down into the sand. I'm getting my names all mixed up here. Don't listen to a thing I'm saying here. Not my day in the commentary booth, I suppose, but hey, that'll happen. Colin's going to send that serve straight back over. Goes straight back to Colin. Ella sets this thing up high for Gavin, who spikes it down. Another bit of combination play from those two. Exactly what we want to be seeing here up in the Sandy Nanners booth, as Gavin gets his turn to serve here. 11-8 being the score here from this one. We're reaching the midway point of this game, as Gavin's going to send that one and ace. It's going to hit the child! Yeah. Excitement. Rah. Hitting kids. Funny. With a ball. Yeah. 12-8. Gavin's serve here. Once again, it's going to fly up into the middle here. And Colin is going to, I think Colin got to that one. I don't know. Jack's block is not good enough, and it's going to send it down on the Sandy Nanners side of the net. Max not able to recover and get to that one quite quick enough from Jack's errant block there. 3 points is the difference here. It's been a margin of 2s and 3s in Game 3 so far here, as the serve is going to fly to Jada. Jada has a good return on that one. Colin tips it up for Ella to send it over. Colin once again here falls for Jack, and Jack gets beat at the net on that one. Jack gets that thing put down on his head. Haven't seen many of those from this squad so far today, but there's one right there. (12-10). Once again, a 2-point game here, as I can't even see who that was for the Sugar and Spikes team that gets the serve there. Jack tries to set it up for Max, goes over the net. Ella sends that thing far over into the back row. And Gavin plays that one, which was definitely out of bounds here. And Ella's tip is not able to be recovered by any of the Sandy Nanner team members there. It's almost tied up here in this one. Once again, 12-11. Just as I was saying earlier when Max was up to serve that the Sandy Nanners might finally be at their pulling away point in this one, they That one's going to end up being left alone here by Gavin as they finally get out of that little rut they put themselves in. As Ella gets another batch of serves here for the Sandy Nanners. Let's see what she can do with this one. This one's going to fly. No. On to the next one. On to the next one. We've all had our fair share of miss hits in our day. No shame there. This one's going to fly. Nice for Gavin to get to. Gavin does well. Jada does well to send it up for Max. Max spikes that one down. That one's going to fly. It's going to get hard to return. Yeah, and that one was tough from anybody to get to after that return. Well hit by Max there to get the point. 14-12. We're in the back half of this one. We're in the back half. 7 points left to go to claim victory here. That was a hard serve from Jack as Max gets the block, and they are celebrating that one like it's a tie game at 20 apiece here in the grand finals of this tournament at the end of the season. You know, Max is good for that. Max is certainly an antagonizer for the other team. He knows when to celebrate and when to keep quiet. He's very aware about that one. This one's going to set up a little 1-2 between those two in the front row there. Gavin's going to send this one for Ella. Jada, oh my god, get your names right, bozo. And Jada's going to get beat by the net on that one. Just a little bit too tall for her to get to. I'm sorry, there's nobody on the squad now that should be that should be tough to differentiate from one another. I just can't get your guys' names right. I apologize for all the Sandy Nanner members watching this later on here. 15-13. Let's just hope that the guys can close out this one here. Ella gets a nice return, perfectly placed to Colin. Colin sends that one over. I got names right that time. Let's go, everybody. That one's gonna fly, and Gavin's gonna make the wise choice to leave it and let it fall out of bounds to build a 3-point lead for the Sandy Nanners as Max gets his first batch of serves in a little while. I mean, obviously that's how it works. You know, it's a rotation game. Max sends this one into the back row there. It's going to get well set and hit over once again to Max. Max is keeping busy in this one. Gavin's going to chance to spike that one down. He does, but it gets recovered. Almost, not quite. Almost a good save there by the Sugar and Spike squad, but Gavin's spike just a little bit too much there for them to recover from. 17-13 here, as that one gets well saved. That one might have been out of bounds, might not have been. I was not sure from my point of view here. As Colin, where are you going for your hat? The bell's still in play, and it's a scramble of bodies down on that left side, and it's going to be a Sandy Nanner point here, 18-13. 3 points left to go here for the win. 5 points being the difference between the two teams here. Let's see how Max can continue this little run he's put on here. 18-13. And it's going to be another point there. That one is not returned. 19-13, 2 points. This game is just about reaching its close here. These two teams certainly did not look like they're at their peak performance that we've seen from them at other points in today's matchup. As that serve for Max flies out of bounds, I do believe he was trying to spot that gap that was left wide open in the middle there, but he ends up overcooking the ball on that one. 19-14, still 2 points left to go here. This one, that serve is going to be up. Jack is going to cut Max off on that one. Jade is going to send it far for Gavin, who sends that thing out of bounds. That was just about exactly what the Sandy Nanners were trying to work up on that one, but that play is not going to work quite as planned. Gavin sends that one out of bounds a little bit too far. This one once again goes to Jack. Jack once again goes to Jada. Jada ends up having to send that one over the net. Not the easiest thing for her to get to. This time she sets it up for Gavin. Gavin gets it down, and it's going to fall. 1 point away. Game point for the Sandy Nanners here, as it is Jada's serve in this one. Let's see what she can do to put the game away here. The Sandy Nanners have certainly cooled down from their Game 2 performance. However, it's been pretty comfortable this whole time for them by the looks of things. This one's going to get sent high up. Max is going to get there to send it straight back over. And this one's going to get tipped up. Gavin is not able to play the block on it. Ella up to Gavin. Gavin with a perfect spike there to call game in this one. 3-0 for the Sandy Nanners. Exactly what the doctor ordered after last week's loss at the hands of, I still can't remember who, 21-15 being the final score in this one. A good recovery week from your Sandy Nanners. to get a little juggle circle going. And now let's have a quick little look at the stats here in this one. Gavin leading the way with 9 kills. Max and Jack at the bottom, a little ways down with 4 and 3 apiece. Assists, Jada and Ella leading the way here. Ella with a very strong debut, 3 assists. Jack at the bottom with 2 there. In terms of blocks, Max leading the way by miles with 4, and Colin with 3. Gavin with 1. Not much net play from the Sandy Nanners. In terms of block serves, we had 3 at 100% with Jack, Gavin, and Colin here. Receiving, Gavin leading the way with Max and Colin making a big step up in performance from weeks prior, 85, 80, and 871 being the scores there. Now let's have a quick little look at season stats now. We've got those back this week. Let's go. Let's have a look at how those are. Gavin absolutely demolishing the kills tally with 35. Max is 2 touchdowns behind him with 21, and Jack at the bottom there. The 2 J's leading the way here with 13 and 10, and then Aubrey, despite her limited appearance, has 9. Max leading the way with 10 blocks. Jack very close behind with 9, and Gavin sneaking up there with 7. In terms of digs, Jack is the guy down in the sand more than anybody else with 5. Max and Colin both have 3 following. In terms of serves, Colin with 1 L has 100%. Colin with 2 L's, who you saw today with 94, and Jada also with 94. In terms of receiving, Colin with 1 L, the one that we haven't seen, is at the top with Allison behind, and Max in third there. Max being the only full-time player for the Sandy Nanners in this one to make his way onto that list. And that is going to be it for this one. Huge thank you to the players and to the people in the stats room and to you guys watching at home. Thank you for enjoying the Sandy Nanner presentation from JOSBSN. That will be it from this one. See you guys in the next game week.